Hey everybody, my name is Jennifer. This is Metatron speaking. Today's video is going to be talking to you about a new dragon, or at least they are new to me. It is the Jade dragon. So I'm going to be talking to you a little bit about the Jade dragon because this is a crystalline dragon. So what crystalline means. A lot of people maybe use that definition in different ways. Crystalline just means that this is a very high vibrational energy that is like an archetypal energy. And so these archetypal energies are found within certain dragons, just like archetypal energy is found within like certain angels. Like the archangels all are an archetypal crystalline energy, essentially. Not really crystalline. No, not really crystalline, he says. He's like, but they're archetypal. In addition to talking about the Jade Dragon, I'm actually going to be discussing a little bit more about one of our sessions that we newly have available. This is the Cosmic Lightcode 2025 session. I've talked about that session already in another video. The reason I'm going to end up talking about it more right now, a little bit different information, is because the Jade Dragon is one of the guides that stepped forward to do this work with me, to do this session with me for everyone. So the Jade Dragon is kind of introducing themselves. And so this is the information about the Jade Dragon. That's whether you get the Cosmic Light Code session or not. The information about the Jade Dragon is fascinating, and it applies to you if you have any interest in dragons. And then I'm going to be covering a little bit more about that Cosmic Light Code session. So if you're not interested in that part of it, if you don't resonate with that session at all, that's totally fine. We're still going to have other messages in this video for you that do apply to you. Let me see if I can find my notes. Okay. So I asked to meet with the Jade Dragon, which is anytime I have a new guide brought forward for me, the first thing I want to do is I want to touch them. I want to feel their energy. I want to talk to them. I want to get an idea of, what they look like, what they feel like, what their personality is, what they're here to help us with, right? So the Jade Dragon is like this brilliant green color, and the dragon is not a super dark green, and it's not a super light springy lime green. It's like in between. It's like this medium green color. If you think of like a piece of jade, like a fine piece of jade, it's that color. Jade jewelry almost has like a glow to it. This dragon has a glow to it, but it's more brilliant than the jewelry. That like literally the dragon just kind of glows, even though they aren't transparent by any means. They are that solid green color, but the light from within them is just radiating out really easily. The dragon has whiskers. So, and I see this a lot with dragons where they have like these long whiskers. So it had the long whiskers and a long scaled body. So there are certain ways that I can see a dragon that help me understand kind of what category of dragon this is, if that makes any sense, because there are water dragons, and there are fire dragons, and there are earth dragons, and there are air dragons. So when dragons show up in my clairvoyance as having those really, really long body, and they got the long whiskers, this is an air dragon. It's a dragon that air dragons they incarnate in physical bodies on 70 planets. So if this description kind of sounds or feels familiar to you, you've probably incarnated on a 7D planet. You've probably experienced one of these dragons. They were mainly used for like transportation, like get on your dragon and you travel somewhere. Also, they do a lot of work in the etheric or the higher realms. 7D is the only time that they incarnate. It's the highest dimension where you can still have a body. Yeah, because if you go any higher than that, bodies aren't possible. So they're 7th dimensional dragons or higher. Let's see. And I'm just going to tell you this because I saw it. I don't really understand the full relevance. In the dragon's hand, if you will, the dragon's little hand, it had a pink lotus blossom. And so, lotus flowers are associated with like enlightenment and peace. I didn't dig into it too much, to be honest with you, but I just want to tell you that's what I saw them holding. So she comes up to me. I say she. All dragons are like angels, archangels. They are male and female. They are androgynous. They are both genders, both sexes. But they, depending on the person, you may experience them as being just male, just female. You may experience them as being both simultaneously, or you may experience them flip-flopping back and forth depending on how they like to be at any given moment. I say she for the Jade dragon because I felt a lot of female energy in the beginning, but you'll kind of see how that evolves. So first thing she did is she comes up to me and she's using her little claws and she's like pulling energies out of me that don't belong there. It's completely a normal reaction from a guide. Whenever I meet a new guide, the first thing they do is they start clearing my energy, which sounds weird because if you and I just met for the first time, I'm probably not going to come up to you and start like preening your hair and picking parasites off of you like we're monkeys. But in the spiritual world, for some reason, it's the first thing a guide does. They're like, hey, you have this, there's something here on your aura. There's something here in your energy body. I know you can't see it, but I can. Here, let me just fix that for you. And so it is the kind of the first thing they do with me is they take care of my energy first, and I'm like sitting there like a impatient, crazy person because they'll be clearing my energy, and I'll be like, "Hey, hi, nice to meet you." Like I'm trying to talk to them, and they're like, we're not talking yet. I'm going to clear your energy first," which is fine. So she was doing that first. Once I could feel her energy, it was very unique, which is hard to say because a lot of times I'll be feeling into a guide's energy, and like if you take archangels, for example, when I feel into archangel energy, they all feel really similar. Really similar, like to the point where I can't really tell some of them apart at all. I can't tell a lot of them apart at all, to be honest. If they're just radiating energy, if they're not like talking or doing something that's kind of indicative of their personalities. It kind of gets that way after a while where everyone kind of feels in a similar way, right? Like if you feel an ascended master, they all kind of radiate this beautiful gold light, and they all radiate that love and wisdom and compassion. So it's hard to get like a unique energy off of anybody. But Jade Dragon did have unique energy. So her energy literally felt like jade, which, by the way, I don't own a piece of jade, but now I really, really, really want to because I know it's tied into that dragon's energy. So her energy was smooth. This is hard to explain. Her energy was smooth. Like when I was feeling it, it was just so comfortable, so flawless, so like there's no words to properly describe it. And so I hate trying to describe these things to all of you because I'm failing. It's like I'm looking at a picture of the ocean or like a video of the ocean. I'm watching a video of the ocean and I'm like, it's wet. And there's like a little power there. Like there's just no way you can't describe it properly. You're trying, but it's not enough. She has a pure energy that is not flawed. It is milky, like jade itself. Milky is like the perfect word almost because it looked like that and it felt like that. Like it was very consistent throughout. It was very smooth throughout. And again, she's a crystalline dragon. So the work she's doing for the Cosmic Lightcode session is basically what that session is going to do is it's going to open up a bunch of brand new chakras on people. And I say brand new, they're not new. We all have a certain amount of chakras. We all have the exact same chakras. Most of them are minor chakras. There are far more minor chakras than major chakras. And most of our chakras, whether they're major or minor, well, I should say minor. The major ones should be open. Most of the minor ones are closed. If we had all of our chakras open, we would be God. We would know we were God. We would see everything. We would know everything. It would completely destroy our experience on Earth as being separate, as having time, it would ruin our learning. It would ruin everything. We cannot open up all the chakras. We can, however, open up some of them more or completely, because that's one of our goals in ascending, because the more we open up some of these minor chakras, the more access we have to the divine parts of ourselves. And we want access to all of our divinity, but we also need to maintain the illusion of the ego and the physical world, okay? We can't turn on all the chakras and then wipe out the matrix. That's not the point. We need the matrix. We need the illusion. We need the 3D world. So if you saw the video where I'm talking about the Cosmic Lightcode session, there are 7 different galactic groups that are going to be working with the individuals who choose to do this session. Each one of those groups, let's see if I can remember them. It's groups you wouldn't necessarily think of. Dragons are a galactic group. Angelics, they told me as a galactic group because they have a planet that they physically incarnated on, so they're including them. So we got dragons, angels, Lyrans, Orion, Pleiades. I'm already drawing a blank. Sirians. Who did I forget? Oh, Arcturians. So those are the 7 groups. Each one of those groups are going to be opening up either a new chakra or a set of chakras on us. So I'm going to talk very briefly about that for all of you who have already scheduled that session with me, or you're thinking about scheduling that session with me. By the way, I'm only able to schedule that through August 8th. Because if I schedule it past that point, it's not going to benefit you in the full way that it's supposed to, because these energies need to come into you at a certain timing so that you have access to them for the rest of the year, for the beginning of next year, and just that there's a critical timing involved in it. So that's why we're only offering this session for a short time. So let me tell you about this. So for the Lyrans, I know that the chakras that they are opening up are in front of the eyebrows. So think about this. Most of the time, people think of like their chakras as being in their physical body, but most of our chakras are outside our physical body. Excuse me. They are above your head. They are below your head. They are in front of your body. They are back of your body. They're on, right or left sides. We are this huge constellation of energy stuck inside this tiny little body. Well, some of it's stuck inside the tiny little body, but a lot of it is outside your body. And that's why when you enter a room or you interact with someone else's energy, you don't have to touch them to feel their energy, because their energy field is far larger than their physical body, right? So the Lyrans are opening up golden chakras in front of the eyebrows. So It's about, they have to show me right about here. Oops, probably about there. In front of the eyebrows. Gosh, I'm not gonna do a bunch of detail on this. There will be, if you get this session done, there will be a ton of detail about what these chakras do, why they are opening them, all of that good stuff. Just gonna give a little brief rundown on this video. For the Orion galactics, there are orange chakras outside. Okay, so this is hard to explain. So like right here, basically, but outside the ear. So these chakras, when I felt them, these are the ones, right? No, these are not the ones. Nope, no, no, no. I'm getting them confused. So these are right about here. Yep. And they're orange. There are, for the dragons are opening up. Oh, you can tell I just figured something out. The dragons are opening up 3 aqua-colored chakras in front of and down each side of the throat. So it's like 3 and 3, but it's not on your throat, it's in front of your throat. So they're like about here. The angels are opening up 3 pearl white chakras along the inside of the foot. So if this was a foot, if this was the top of your foot, and this is the inside of your foot, right? These are the bottoms of your feet. This is how you walk. It's like the insides. It's like the insides of your feet. There's 3 that they're opening up there. Did I do that right? Oh no, but wait, right? Along the inside. Yes, along the inside of the foot, but outside of the physical foot. Yes. For the Sirians, there were these long chakras, and I don't understand what I saw, but I'm going to be channeling more on it. There were platinum colored chakras. They were outside the ear, and they were really long. Like when I felt them, they literally felt like they just went on and on and on. Like it felt like a structure, a big long structure kind of coming out of the ear. And so they had already told me these are to perceive new frequencies. I'm like, okay, yes. To perceive new frequencies, these chakras are open on whales and dolphins. I was like, okay, this is making sense. For the Sirians, 2 things. One, Sirius B is a water planet, so them connecting back to the whales and the dolphins made a lot of sense to me. Also, the mer people there, yeah, the mer people there would also have had these chakras open. And then the platinum color of these chakras makes sense to me because on Sirius C, the time jumper planet, where those individuals are able to move through time as part of like a galactic police force, they look completely human unless you see their hair and it just like is in the right lighting. It doesn't matter what color their hair is, black, blonde, gray, doesn't matter. It shines like this silver or platinum color in the light. So that kind of was interesting to me. For the Arcturians, there is an indigo colored chakra in each hand, below the middle finger and outside the hand. Okay, so middle finger, it's going to be right here, but it's going to be a little in front, a little bit in front of your hand. And so that is the one that they are opening. It was really cool when they did this. There was, and I don't even know who it was, there was an Arcturian guide that was in front of me when I was hearing this information, and they went palm to palm with me. And when they did that, I could feel that chakra, and it like went straight to my heart, and I just started crying. So it's gonna tie back to the heart chakra, which of course it does. Your hands, your arms, your shoulders, your upper back, it all ties into your heart chakra as being the major chakra that is closest to all of those minor chakras. And then the last one, the Pleiadians, are opening a single chakra in the upper center of the throat. So right about here? Yeah, no, right about here. So it's connected to the throat, but again, it's in front of the throat. Yeah, I can feel that. And so that's the one that's connected with Pleiadian energy, and you can find out more about it during the actual session if you choose to do that. Just so all of you know, I mean, this is interesting for the session, but this is also just interesting in general. The way that I perceive colors, or the way that any clairvoyant perceives colors, is not necessarily going to be very accurate as we enter into these higher vibrational spaces. So when I'm trying to describe the color of one of these chakras that nobody knows about, like we haven't seen it before, we haven't been opening it before, I'm giving you these colors that sound very normal. I'm like, yeah, it's orange, it's, it's pearl white, it's platinum. What my brain is doing is my brain is doing its very best to tell you the accurate color, but Earth is not yet at a place where we can accurately perceive all colors. Like we accurately perceive very little on the visual color spectrum. So my brain is doing its best to connect it back to the color that it looks like, but it's not completely accurate. So I can say, oh yeah, this is orange, but in 10 years, if I go and I channel it again, I might come back and say, oh, it is blah, 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 orange. And everyone will understand what that is, but we haven't distinguished it yet on Earth because we haven't moved into a high enough frequency yet. And so this is why there are, if you think about your childhood, right? Think about how many more colors we have names for and we can recognize now than when you were a child. And so the same thing will happen again and again and again over time as we'll continue to identify the colors, because we'll start being able to see them. And what Metatron told me is that there are an infinite amount of colors. Don't let that break your head. That breaks my head. There are an infinite amount of colors. Yeah, my brain can understand that. So obviously it's going to take us a little time to identify all of these guys. Let's see. As additional chakras are opened on our energy bodies, we gain knowledge, and we gain or improve psychic abilities, and we become more of our full selves. It is purposeful to have many of our etheric chakras closed, because to have them open all at once, we would remember that we are God. We need limited access to divine information in order to properly experience incarnation as a learning opportunity. Okay. It is difficult to measure the impact of opening a new chakra. So if you do this session, I'm going to give you a brief description of what it's going to do, but realistically, I'm only scratching the surface. I'm only being able to relay whatever Metatron and these other guides are allowing me to relay. They aren't, it's almost like I get to read the first chapter of the book. And so I'm going to tell you what that first chapter is, but there are 20 other chapters that I don't ever get to see, right? And so you won't explicitly know what's taking place because of that chakra being opened, but just understand that it's extremely dynamic. It's very powerful. It's something that it's permanent. So it's done in this lifetime. And unless you have some weird soul contract going on in your next life, that chakra will remain open. So that'll be another opportunity for you in the future as well. When you open chakras, there's always a much bigger impact than what you can verbalize or what we can understand. It touches every aspect of your spiritual journey. When we open new chakras, it is meant to empower you. It is meant to assist you with being the best version of yourself. It is meant to open your eyes to new possibilities and potentially change the trajectory of your life path in ways that are aligned with your best and highest interests. So that's just kind of my little speech on, it's not my speech, it's what I channeled on opening chakras. Another thing I'm just going to tell you, just because I saw it, I have no background information. The Jade Dragon showed me a green ocean, and I saw it and I was like, oh my God, that is the Jade Ocean. Like I knew what its name was. No idea what planet we were on. No idea where that is, but that is a real ocean somewhere, and I feel very drawn to it. So at some point I really want to know where that thing is, because it just feels really, really important to me. I'm going to tell you now, I'm going to give you a channeled message from the Jade Dragon. And so this is for everyone. If you're interested in connecting with this dragon, she's kind of like introducing herself. So she says, I am the ethereal form of love. I am a love that is balanced, harmonious, and healed. I am a soothing compassion. Call on me to help you love yourself. Call on me to release guilt, anger, and shame. I am your soothing protector. Call on me for what you need physically and emotionally. Call on me for nourishment and for abundance. I am divine serenity. I am quiet completion. I draw from the stars to soothe your wounds. I use ebony and ivory to weave you a pathway of balance. And so when she says this, she says, I draw from the stars to soothe your wounds. I use ebony and ivory to weave you a pathway of balance. So I'm getting this visual of like the black night sky, ebony, and I'm getting the visual of the white stars at night, which is like ivory. And she is pulling. She's pulling from both the stars, she's pulling energy of the stars, and she's pulling energy of the open space, and she's like weaving these energies together for us. And it was very impressive, to be honest, because my brain was getting like a download at the same time. The fact that she was using a solid piece of matter and she was using air, cosmos, nothingness. The fact that she was using both of those was like so relevant, but unexpected. The longer she talks, the more apparent her power becomes. And so at this point in my conversation with her, she switches her gender. So she went from feeling very female to very male. And she says, I am your home. I know how to heal your heart. I know how to bring what is dead back to life. As the Jade Dragon speaks, I begin to see crystalline dragon energy more clearly. So what that means is he or she is speaking to me, but they're pushing a little download into my head. And so all of a sudden I have information. I feel the energy of the gods within this dragon. And yet it is not only that energy that I feel. So, okay, I'm just going to keep going with this. Dragons are the original archetypal energy to hold both dark and light. Dragons predate the gods. Dragons predate the angels. So this is all new information to me. I did not know this when they were telling me this. When I feel into the Jade Dragon's energy, it feels the most similar to feeling into the one energy. So to explain that to you, really early in my journey, I didn't know any better. And so I kept trying to interact with the one energy, and it was chaos because, well, a couple of reasons. One, their energy is just so much raw power, and it is also the full spectrum. It's not just light, it is the darkest dark is also in there. And so one second you're trying to communicate them and everything's great, and the next second you're like, oh, I have an attachment. And you're like, I'm talking to the one energy. Why am I getting an attachment? Well, they are everything. So I got my butt kicked a lot of times because I kept going back to talk to them, and I kept getting attachments, and I kept getting physically injured. But anyways, if you ever feel into that one energy, it is chaos. It is disorganized. It is complicated. It does not feel good. It felt frightening. And that really threw me off because you basically think, oh, I'm talking to creator, I'm talking to like the, God. Creator or source is probably more of an accurate term, or the one energy. You're talking to source or creator, whatever. You don't expect it to be frightening. No, it totally is. It's too much. So this is what the cumulative energy is, and this is the reason why it needs to organize and be like, okay, let's organize me into archangels. Let's organize me into dragons, because the mind can comprehend it when it's organized and broken down. When it's all as one, it's super hard for the human to comprehend. I know I don't. So it felt a lot like the one energy, except not as chaotic. Not as chaotic. I mean, it's still a little chaotic, but not frightening. Let me see what else I wrote down. So I'm going to give you guys this, and it might be super controversial, but I totally stand behind it because I felt what I felt, and I'm going to say what I say. And if I find that I'm wrong later, I will correct myself. But what I experienced was that dragons are the original creator. Dragons are creator. So when we talk about creator, it's actually creator is the dragon collective. The dragons are the ones who built the cosmos, who built the planets. So if it doesn't resonate, don't worry about it. Don't take it. I'm still having a hard time processing it, but I know it's true. Like the intuitive part of me is like, yep, dragons are ancient. Of course they came first. Of course they came first. Like in my intuitive self is like, yes. My logical thinking side is like, we all come from dragons. So do with it what you need to do with it. I won't be offended either way. Let me see if I have anything else for you. That might have been where this more or less ended. Oh yeah. Creator is a dragon. Creator is the sum of the crystalline dragon collective. So yeah, I'm just going to end it there, because after that, it was just them talking to me to acknowledge. Okay, I'm just going to say what they said because their Metatron is flagging me to talk. So when I wrote down the dragons, like the crystalline dragons, they're collective. That is creator. Creator is the dragon collective. The dragon collective is creator. When I said that, the Jade dragon says, I am. And that was an extremely powerful statement to me. And the reason goes back to my background in Christianity. I used to identify as being Christian. If you're familiar with the Bible at all, there are portions of it, probably one portion especially, and I can't even remember who was being spoken to, but somebody was speaking to God, in the Bible, and they were asking for God's name. What should we call you? And God was answering basically, I am. But in the context of the original language, I am really meant I am, I was, and I will be. It was future, past, and present. So it had a much bigger impact than saying just I am. He's like, I was, I am, I will be. Like there's so much with that energetically that I can't even relay to you guys. But it basically has this energy of like infinity and this huge expansiveness to it that's just very trademark God or creator energy. So when the dragon says I am, it's like an acknowledgement of, yeah, you were taught that God created everything, but it's the dragons who created the gods. And well, first they created the angels, the gods, all this stuff. And so the dragons are the first, as far as I can understand it, the dragons are the first organization off of the one energy, because the one energy is kind of useless to like communicate with or interact with whatsoever because it's so disorganized. But creator or source, I don't know. Should source be? No, source should, I feel like source should kind of be, I don't know. You guys might want to call the dragon source, or you might want to call the one energy source. I'm not sure. I don't ever use that word. But creator is the dragons who then built the archangels, who then helped build everything else, right? The cosmos and the planets and all of that fun stuff. And then the gods. Then the gods showed up. Okay. So this is my crazy, wild, fascinating, weird conversation for the day. Let me know what you think about the dragons and creator. If you have a thought on that, curious to see what it is. That's about it. For any of you who are potentially interested in getting the Cosmic Lightcode 2025 session, I encourage you to sign up for that as soon as you can. There was a really big response to this service, and so I'm actually booked right now into July, which is insane because I'm not normally booked out that far. But you can book that session now if you're interested in it, or any session with us. Book it now, and then you can purchase it when it's actually getting closer to that session. Like we just need the payment a couple weeks before your actual session. You don't need to purchase in April for a session you're getting in July. That's crazy. I mean, unless you want to. But so just don't feel the pressure to purchase it now if you're not getting it for several months. So there is that. And I think, is that everything? What else am I missing? He's telling me I'm missing something, but I don't know what it is. Oh, you know what? No, he's telling me yes. Shoot. No, I can't do. He's telling me to do something right now, but I should have brought props, and I don't have my props. I will do it for the next video with my props because I have to have my props. Yeah, we'll do that later. Okay, this is everything that I have for you guys. Let me know if you have questions. Reach out if you are like not sure if the Cosmic Light Code session is right for you or not. Reach out if you have questions about things. Let me know how you feel about the dragons, and I will talk to you guys next time. Bye-bye.